Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you for joining us as we got a great night of UFO talk. Robert Shiepe is here to get into all things underwater and in the sky. We're going to have some fun with him tonight. Best part about tonight is we have each and every one of you. And it's hard to believe, but Race Fan is in the gold medal position. David Norenberg with a silver. T-Bone, my man, having a bronze medal tonight. Kitty Caddywhack, how you doing? Can't believe you finished out of the top three, to be honest. It's a little stunning right now. You're on a good roll. Yeah. All right, moving on here. We have Chris 716. Mel WD40 is here lubing us up for tonight's show because you always want to go into a show about UFOs nice and smooth. The aliens don't want any rigidness. So thank you, Mel, for lubing us up. Mama Catherine, mwah, I love you, my dear. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful night. I hope you enjoy this show as well, my friend. Much love to you. Luscious Jules, how are you? Robert Lamoth and Gory Tiger, nice to see you. Bar Madison, thanks for coming on in. Frankie B, good to see you as well. Necessary Dialogue, good to have you here. Jaquetta is here. Jaquetta will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio if you don't mind. To the left of the studio. Scrolling on down. Up next, we have Missouri Man. Good to have you back as we continue on with our roll call. Little Cam over here on YouTube, bench pressing 555 pounds, 76 times in 10 minutes. He's jacked for tonight's show, so we're glad to have you here, Little Cam. Moving on down, who do we have next? Let's keep on scrolling. Keep on scrolling. Number 17 in your program, starting at center ice tonight from Stockholm, Sweden, Lars Jansson, Eternity Eternal, Paul Demon, good to have you both here. Hi there, Road Flare and Kurt M. Thanks for coming on in as we continue on with our roll call. Walter Kochabinski, good to see you. Hi, J Truth Seeker. Signs of Life is here. Signs of Life will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio. If you don't mind, to the right of the studio. Be gentle. It's the first time Signs of Life will be signing autographs. Digger Dog, how are you tonight? Cody Eiler, Ozzy, nice to have you both here. Aaron Baca, long time, no time. Where you been hiding? Good to have you here. Kitty Caddywhack, thank you so much for kicking off the super chat tonight. It's a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. So thank you, Kitty, very, very much. Rock and Rory, good to see you. Nina Williams, thanks for coming on in. Enrique, how you doing, my friend? Michelle Eilis, how are you, my beautiful friend? How is the Navajo warrior? Much love to both of you. I love you both. I really do. Trucker Andrew, how you doing? I will send you the underwear. Trucker Andrew, I haven't made your order yet, but I will send you your underwear. Yes, I will. Booty Mongol, how are you? And Michelle, thank you very, very much. That's an SOR bomb right there. SOR bomb right there. Thank you very much. Much love to you, my friend. Scrolling on down, let's say hello next to, let's see here. Who are we going with? Who are we going with? Emperor Penguin, nice to have you here. And Michelle L., welcome to SOR Chat. Scrolling on down, Jose Sanchez, good to have you here. Benno, how are you? And Maggie Shepard, welcome to SOR Chat. Jeremy Jones, how you doing? Let's get the radio side going. Hello and welcome to the radio and podcast side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for tuning us in as we get ready to talk UFOs with Robert Shiepe. We're going to have a great time with him tonight. We are in roll call right now on our YouTube side, so bear with us as we get ready for tonight's show in about 40 seconds. Yennefer with a soft J, how are you tonight? Good to see you guys. And, well, so far we're caught up. Now we just play the waiting game. But I do want to remind everybody the Super Chat is open. It's a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. And I believe maybe I haven't got an email yet. Maybe tomorrow. We are looking at setting up a membership on our chat on our YouTube channel as well. Country Life, welcome to SOR Chat. Dragonfly, how are you? Our store is open on our website, spacedoutradio.com. And do me a favor, throw those horns up, everybody. Let's rock.
Are you ready to hear your mystic voice of the night?
It's time to wake up.
He's here. Shush. Be quiet. He's ready for you to listen. Let's point our ears towards the little cabin in the woods. We're together, my friends. Oh, no. It's time for Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott.
From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot. Read the news wire. Check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. We have an amazing show coming at you tonight as Robert Shiepe is going to talk about his UFO research into orbs in the sky, what's in the ocean, under the water, lakes, rivers, you name it. We're going to get into all of this and more with Robert momentarily. Then in hour number 3, Swamp Dweller is going to kick things off. No Tim James tonight. He's still helping out his ailing wife who had a medical emergency yesterday, so he didn't really sleep last night, so he's going to be off for tonight as well. So you got me for the UFO report. I got some things I want to discuss on that. It's Dave 101 night, and it's the weird news of the week. So let's get right to it, shall we? Because we got Robert Shiepe waiting in the wings. Dr. Robert Shiepe is a clinical pharmacist, inventor, and an avid UFO researcher based in Marina del Rey, California. You know, there's a lot of great white sharks in that ocean right around Marina del Rey. I don't know if he could ever invite me down. He might say, hey, let's go to the dock. And then all of a sudden, Jaws is sitting there in the water waiting for me. Oh, that's just a scary feeling. Scary. With a scientific background spanning pharmacology and astronomy, photography, he has made over 4,000 video recordings of small, fast-moving, unidentified aerial phenomena, and which he refers to as dragons due to their dragonfly-like appearance in high-speed footage. Since at least 2017, his observation and documentation techniques, often involving custom light boxes and radar detectors, have garnered attention from the U.S. Coast Guard, local police, and media outlets like the Discovery Channel. And tonight we bring him back for the second time on Spaced Out Radio. Robert Shiepe, it's always good to have you here, my friend. How are you?
I'm Thank you for having me back, and it's good to be back. Looking forward to tonight.
I know you always love a good UFO story, but for our listeners who may not be familiar with your background, how did this all begin for you? You're a man of science. You're a man in the medical field. You've retired from that, and now you concentrate on ufology.
Right. Wow. It's an amazing story. I'm baffled. I'm baffled myself. In 1986, I invented the mail order pharmacy business in the United States and retired in 2012. And I thought, well, that's it now. Now I've worked hard. Now I'm going to play. And then sure enough, 5 years later, I'm in Marina del Rey, largest marina in North America. And out of the blue, the Coast Guard and Navy Blackhawks flew in. They hovered over Marina del Rey, about 200-300 feet, for 4 hours. Which is extremely unusual if you can kind of picture that. Just sitting there looking around. Well, they did that every day for 14 days. And after 14 days, I said, this is just ridiculous. I'm going to grab my camera. And I started recording video. And then sure enough, on the video, you could see these tiny dots flying up to the helicopters. And essentially, it's never stopped. The government has never stopped in the last 8 years. That's how this really all started. Essentially, the government assumed nobody would ever suspect anything, which is true. But being a scientist and being very curious and always thinking outside the box, using a little critical thinking, I was like, come on, you're sitting in the air for 14 days and you think nobody's going to see you. This is not normal. So basically, you might say we were all playing poker and they showed their cards to me. And basically, yeah, that's how I figured out these small UAPs are flying around. And for the first year, I was just like, what's going on here? What is this? And they kind of resemble a bug, like a dragonfly, kind of. I mean, maybe 20%, maybe 15%. But I didn't have any, logically, there were no other options. There were just the option of being a small UAP, in my mind, did not exist yet. I knew UAPs, UFOs are real, but to think that maybe they fly with drones, small drones, just not that it's out of the question, it just wasn't a paradigm. And so after intense recording, because the government never left after those 14 days, they just doubled down, and it got to the point in all of 2017, a government helicopter was coming in every 15 minutes over Marina del Rey. And I did my best to document and record them all. And when you do the math, basically, it's hard to believe, but it pencils out to 46,000 sorties since the summer of 2017. And they've never stopped. And, again, just getting my curiosity and utilizing what science I know, I said, I'm gonna go full speed in on this. I mean, I've got the time, I have the money, I have the knowledge. I've always been interested in UFOs since 1970. I always thought something odd was going on. And all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it's happening right in front of my balcony. My balcony sits at 200 feet elevation, looking straight on Marina del Rey, or in all of West LA. Literally like I'm in a balloon looking down on the city. And it hasn't stopped. So the 46,000 sorties. So if you could put it this way, every single helicopter that the Pentagon has access to has been here. That's an understatement. But in other words, the police, the sheriff, the Coast Guard, Apaches, Blackhawks, Lakotas, Ospreys, the Edison and fire department. Now that might throw you off. You're like, the Edison chopper and the fire department, what's that got to do with UFOs? That's a great question. If I wasn't here to figure it out, I wouldn't know either. But basically, at this point, the government wants everybody's help. As long as you work for them, they want everyone's help. They have Edison and the fire department have very advanced IR thermal cameras, and that's how you see these things. So these things, these small UAPs, fast movers, you can call them fast movers. I give it the nickname Dragon because for the first year, I was positive these were dragonflies. These were bugs, but they're not bugs. How did I determine that? Basically, well, during the research, it was like, well, wait a minute, if these are bugs, then why do they only fly when the helicopters show up? I couldn't get past that.
Right.
And then fast forward, as it turns out, the characteristics of these things, which was confirmed by the Pentagon, but the characteristics of this, they will trigger your car radar detector, the X and K band. They will trigger them. They will leave an audio click on your video. They will mess with your autofocus. They will, if they fly behind a metal pole, so if you're out on the sidewalk and you record one and you're standing behind a metal pole, you will see the X-ray silhouette corona of the object itself. And the theory, and I'm pretty sure, they're running on extreme high voltage gamma rays, and the gamma rays will go through the metal or trees, and your IR spectrum on your cell phone will pick it up as a ghost silhouette. And 2 years ago, the Pentagon did give a letter to Congress, and it said characteristics of these UAPs, they will trigger your X band, and they go 2,000 miles an hour, which is also my calculus. So I don't know, maybe they're watching my channel. I've sat down with the intel community, the Air Force. It's been on the Discovery Channel. I've done a lot of podcasts. Yeah, they're probably watching. That's fine. And they can use my data, and anyone can use my data or my videos. This is open source. Why am I doing this? Just pay it forward to humanity. I want to see humanity make it. I want to not only make it or survive, I want to see us thrive. I want to see us advance. I want to see the future happen now. So,
I don't blame you for that. I think a lot of us want to see that happen now, but I mean, you've been watching this story very clearly, and we'll get into it a little bit later in the show about how convoluted this seems to be coming with hearings and whistleblowers, non-whistleblowers, holding back information and everything like that. Your love of this subject had really taken off. Prior to that incident at Marina del Rey from your balcony, did you believe in UFOs prior to this? Had you had any encounters?
Well, that's a great question. Yeah, ever since 1970, I've been very curious. And then right around, to answer long, right around 1979, amazing. There's a lot. The more you hear me, there's going to be a lot of synchronicity, just a crazy amount of synchronicity in my life. So I went to pharmacy school in Laramie, Wyoming, and as it turns out, there was a farmer back in the day living there. His name is Pat McGuire. He's passed away, Pat McGuire. And they were visiting him every night. He became actually pretty famous, Pat McGuire in Laramie, Wyoming. And I found out about him because another famous researcher, Dr. Leo Sprinko, a professor, a psychologist at the university, investigated UFOs. And so he would sit down with the Blue Ribbon panel back in the 70s. And I got to know this guy, Dr. Leo Sprinko. And so I was fortunate enough to be there at Pat McGuire, very similar to the Billy Myers story in Switzerland, the Pleiades. In the 80s, I started learning how to do out-of-body meditating. I got really good at it in a very short period of time, which I'm not sure why. I ran into Bigfoot a few times. I ran into a couple of flying saucers. I met with one of the pilots. We talked a little bit. That was around 1983. And then basically I stopped practicing because about the only negative side effect with going out of body, I would wake up heavily sedated. And I didn't like that because I'm a go. Once I get up, I go full throttle. And I don't like waking up tired. And then right around 86, I opened the first mail order pharmacy in the United States. And then more synchronicity, just more say. I end up meeting, I don't even know how, I end up meeting essentially the world's best telepathic time traveler. And we became good friends. And he knew a lot about UFOs, but I never really took advantage of that relationship. But he would just tell me stuff I didn't know. And so it's never stopped. It just never stopped. And here we are today. So like I said, in 2017 is this, in a good way, this all got out of control in a good way.
When you started kind of taking this subject more seriously, what caught you off guard about it that you didn't know?
What caught me off guard? Well, in January 2007, it's more synchronous. January 2017, I get a phone call from a lady I know, lives right here outside of LA, and she goes, "Hey, it's a Sunday, 12:30, and there's in the daytime, she says there's 2 F-18s circling my house. They've been here on and off for 6 hours. What should I do?" I said, "Go outside and record them." And that was the first UFO spaceship and dragon video that was recorded. And I saw that video, and I instantly said, "Hey, I'm buying this camera right now. I own this video." And then 3 months later, it was June of 2017, and then all hell broke loose in a good way. So, in other words, what I did not know is that UFOs fly with small drones, and characteristics about these drones. And I get it. Nobody knows about this because it's a paradigm nobody would ever think about. But I've documented it. I have 6,000 videos. If you check out my channel, Custodian File, at least 12 other people now are recording these, and they're posting it themselves. Same thing. And it's really easy to do no matter where you live. If you see a helicopter, airplane, hold your phone sideways, record it, zoom in 20%, record for 30 seconds, look for a dot. That will be the UAP fast mover, or the AKA the dragon. And they're everywhere. They're all over the world, not just Marina del Rey. The only thing we do not know is why the government is focusing on Marina del Rey. There's some free radar on the internet called planefinder.net. And I use that to often see helicopters coming ahead of time. So I go out on my balcony and I record them, and I get new video. It's really that easy. It's ridiculous how easy it is. So I got to the point like, wait a minute, if this is happening in Marina del Rey, there has to be clusters of government helicopters in other parts of the country. And every time I look for those clusters, I do not find them. It's only in Marina del Rey. And so 100%, if any serious researcher was to sit down with the Coast Guard, the police, again, all the agencies, the Army, the Navy, the fire department, and you were to point blank say, "Hey, what's going on in Marina del Rey?" Basically, they probably won't talk to you, or they won't answer the question. But it's no longer deniable at this point. There's 10,000 videos. And not only helicopters have the government, because 46,000 sorties, even if each sortie was $1,000, which is much, much more. But even if it was $1,000, that's $46 million just right there. But they also brought in vessels, research vessels. They brought in 3. the Ocean Investigator, the Decisive, and literally the USS Gabriella Gifford. And they were all parked right here in Marina del Rey, right in front of the jetty rocks. So if you go on Google Map, you'll find these jetty rocks, 2,200 feet long. They're there to stop the kinetic energy of the ocean from entering the channel in the marina. That's where all the research vessels sit and do their research. And they were there, the research vessels were there 9 months. So that's about $54 million right there also. So we're looking at $100 million and something that doesn't even exist. Theoretically, the government will look you in the eye and say, we don't know what you're talking about. But again,
very much so. We got about 4 minutes to go before we have to go to break. At the bottom of the hour, Dr. Robert Shiepe is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. You know, when we talk about your research and how you're able to film these, you say this can happen anywhere, that they are everywhere all the time. That's a pretty bold statement.
Oh, I get it. You know, being a man of science, I'm really careful. I mean, I won't even tell you 100% that the sun will come up tomorrow. I'll just say it's highly likely. So I get it. It's a bold statement. But again, it's been 8 years, 10,000 videos, and other people all over the world. Every day I open up my Gmail, people send me these videos all over with these UAP fast movers, these dragon videos. They say, Robert, look, I was just recording helicopters. So it's nonstop. It's just nonstop. I get new viewers all the time. The East Coast, the West Coast, Hawaii, Europe. And not only that, to make this more impossible to believe, you see patterns. Logically, I ask myself, well, if they're flying up to helicopters, then they're flying up to all aircraft. So if that theory is true, why don't you, I said, look on YouTube and look at air shows, Blue Angels, Thunderbirds, Red Arrows. Theoretically, you should be able to see them there. And sure enough, they are. They're tagging all these jets. A tag is when they fly into the video or fly up to the jet or fly behind. Yeah, they do fly behind. So characteristics, they fly behind, they trigger your X-ray, your car radar detector, and they're predictable, they're baitable. They don't care they could be baited. They don't care that for the most part, they don't care that they're being filmed. But in other words, you can bait them with balloons, earth drones, if you fly your earth drone, or or like I said, you could just use a helicopter as bait and they will fly up you'll see them. There's no stopping it. There's just really no stopping it at this point. So whether I figured it out, it would have been eventually discovered. Probably the autonomous cars that are really online now, especially Los Angeles, the Waymo cars, it's highly likely the 5 or 10 years, because these autonomous cars are seeing these UAP fast movers. They are seeing them. But the engineers they don't know what to think. So they're ignoring the data for now. But in 10 years, I think they would have figured it out. The size of these things, approximately close to velocity zero, about 1 inch. And then at maximum velocity, which is about 2,000 miles an hour, within 1 second, the corona silhouette expands to 10 inches. The corona silhouette. So the energy field, the magnetic field. But at low velocity, if you do your homework, and I've already done all my homework, if you check out my channel, Custodian File, at low velocity, you can see them behind light poles or a person's body or person's ankle. And again, because of the gamma rays, you can see the ghost silhouette of the object. So yeah, they're about 1 inch. I know, amazing. I know it's too much knowledge. You would think the universities would have figured this out 20 years ago. NASA would have figured it out. I totally agree. But you know what? In 1986, when I started the mail order pharmacy business, a lot of experts told me it can't be done. It can't be done.
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. We're going to go to break here. Dr. Robert Shiepe is our guest tonight. We're going to find out what he knows about UFOs under the waters of the California coastline. Next on Spaced Out Radio. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. All right, Robert, we are clear. Remember, our audience and podcast audience can hear us. Our radio audience cannot. A couple of things. Oob to Joe's Maine, you've got aliens. Big thank you and a big shout out to Mel WD-40. Not only does he provide enough lube for everybody in this show to lube us up, but he is our first ever member. Yeah, we just started up the membership on this channel. Mel, you're number one, my friend. Number one. Make sure you email me. I'm going to send you a prize for that. And right now, what your membership will get you, it's a monthly membership. What it'll get you is Tim and I are going to start doing some members only chats where we're all going to bring you all in and have a chat with us and whatever topic you want. We're going to try and add some more stuff as we go. So thank you, Mel, for being number one. And we're going to make sure that you're taken care of. So make sure you email me, dave@spacedoutradio.com, dave@spacedoutradio.com. Paramarv jumping in there now as well. Thank you, Paramal. Aaron Bacca, thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate it. Holy cow. It's kind of cool. I'm just not used to this. Thank you, peoples. Thank you. Seymour, how you doing? By the way, is anybody else screwed up about Hulk Hogan dying today? That one hit me. That one hit me a little bit today. Ozzy didn't hit me as much as, oh, and Deborah Rooney, thank you very much. Yeah, Hulk Hogan hit me today. It did. Lil Cam, thank you for becoming a member. Very cool, guys. Thank you. I didn't think you liked me. Well, I know you liked me, but I didn't think you liked me that much. Jerence Carter. Yep. Oh, man, Hulk Hogan hit me, though. Like, Ozzy, I was never really an Ozzy fan. I'm going to get into this in the Dave 101 tonight. Memorial Gardens, how are you? Woo-poo, how you doing? Nikki in Seattle, nice to see you. I think I'm going to sneeze. Yeah, I know I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Now, is there going to be a second one? Is there going to be a second one? Nope. Nope, we're good. By the way, has anybody heard? This song kept on popping up on my feed. What the hell is it called? It's from a band called Falling in Reverse. I don't know if you've heard them. I'm just literally just started listening to them yesterday. They got this song called "God is a Weapon" with Marilyn Manson in it. It is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Who else jumped in here? Rock and Roarance. Thank you very much for joining the membership. Very much appreciate you. You guys are going to get some goodies from us. You will. A lot of private stuff. Private that nobody can share with you. Nobody. You can't share it with anybody. It'll be our little secret. And you got to be a member to find out. We got about 1 minute, Doc.
Okay.
By the way, your goatee's looking fantastic today.
Oh, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. You look
Mhm.
fantastic every day.
Oh, you're teasing me a little bit right there. You're making me feel good. Christopher Sean, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you to our new members, Rock and Rory, Little Cam, Deborah Rooney, AA Ron Baca, Paramarv, Mel WD40. Thank you to our super chatters, Carla, T-Bone, Michelle Eilis, and Kitty Cattywhack. Very much appreciate your love and support of SOR. Thank you very much for the love. And Matthew Goodka, thank you for jumping on in there. We're going to remind you that our store is open on our website, spacedoutradio.com. Here we go with the second half hour. Here we go with the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Great to have you with us. We appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hey, we want to remind you that if you miss portions of this show or others, check out our free archives on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Here we go. Dr. Robert Shiepe is here, hanging on out with us. We're talking about UFOs, and we love his knowledge of this as he's on a one-man quest to help do his part for disclosure. Dr. Shiepe, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think where we left off, Dave, they said what I'm doing right now, maybe somebody else should have done it. NASA should have done it. They should have figured it out. Maybe they have. They're not saying anything. But it's just a matter of the stars being aligned, synchronicity, and things clicking together. And it came together. So I'm putting the information out there. It's open source. You could do this yourself. Anyone could do this. Anyone can record them. Like I said, you see a helicopter, an airplane, hold your phone sideways. Why? Because most of these UAP dragons fly horizontal 80% of the time. 20% is vertical. So, 80%, you have a 4K, 60 frames. You can capture 10 to 30 frames, somewhere around there. And that's what I do every day. And every day people send new videos. Now, also, again, like I mentioned, they're at air shows. Blue Angels, Thunderbirds, Red Arrows, it doesn't matter. Watch air shows on your computer. Train your eye. If you think you see remember, it's the speed of a bullet. So you're only going to see one frame, and you're only going to see it in the middle of the screen. If you think you see something, the trick to watch on YouTube, frame by frame, is you hit K for pause, and below the K is the arrow forwards and the arrow backwards. And that's frame by frame forwards, frame by frame backwards. And that's how I find all my dragons on YouTube. I do screenshots. I tell people where they are. You go to the IP, you go to the timeline, simple. And they never change. The characteristics, they never change. Same silhouette, same speed, same predictability, always blurry, always blurry. Again, it has to do with the magnetic field that they must generate. You will see two tiny flashes, two wings that's why I thought for the first year it had to be a bug. My theory is that they're running on extreme high voltage, and those are plasma jets, tiny lightning bolts. And it's very impressive, very impressive. So watch some of my channels, some of the videos. Avoid 5-second summary judgments because you're going to be very pleased that you don't prejudge something too quickly. So do they look like bugs? Well, 15%. But you know what? Today's mannequins, They look 95% like a human, but they're not human. So that's my same point. We see something, it looks like something, it looks like a bug. These are not bugs, they're not birds. Well, birds are very easy to detect and delete. In slow motion, they don't even move. And when I slow everything down to 3 or 12%, the helicopter is not moving, the birds are not moving. The only thing moving are these UAPs, and they're still moving very fast, very fast. So again, it's very repeatable no matter where you are. So take the Dragon challenge. Tomorrow, you see a helicopter, hold your phone sideways, just record it. Reach out to me. I'll look at your video. I'll even slow it down. I'll edit it. I'll send it back to you. Now, what I did do like 5 years ago as an experiment, I've decided because at 2,000 miles an hour, you capture between 10 and 30 frames, sometimes more, but what would happen if you copy and paste each frame? So I did that. I call those interpolations, and the screenshots are amazing. They're amazing. I have a professional photographer. I send my video to him. He sends it back. He interpolates the videos, and it's amazing. Again, they're all over the world with predictability. So watch my channel. Watch the other 12 who have started. Just type in UAP Dragon and go from there. Spend 30 minutes researching it. They're everywhere.
Now, one of the big things about that would be, if I'm correct, they're not dragons. You've nicknamed them dragons because they look like dragons. So I just want to clarify that. And if you could go into a description, you told us how to find them, but go into a description of what you're actually seeing.
What you're actually seeing, okay, you're seeing basically, essentially something the size of an oval, a marble, very dark and fuzzy. It'd be very hard to get a clear image, again, because the magnetic field, the photons are not ricocheting off in a manner as they should. And also, about 1% of the time, if you're lucky enough, you'll see something that looks like a barbell or a dumbbell at the gym, a barbell or a dumbbell. So I'm beginning to believe that these things are not just necessarily oval, but the center is hollow because at the right angle and if it's close enough, under the right conditions, you do see two round spheres being connected at the bottom with a rod.
How big are they? How big do you estimate these things to be?
Well, if they fly behind somebody's ankle and you could see the X-ray silhouette of the object, if your ankle's maybe 4 inches, 4 inches, and they're like only a third of your ankle. So at low velocity, they're 1 inch. They're very small. I know.
Just to throw a little bit of devil's advocate here for you.
Sure.
Okay. How do you know it's not birds or dust or amoebas, or, amoebas would be too small, but bugs or dragonflies or anything like that, rather than a UFO? Because I don't like the term UAP. So I'm going to stick with UFO on that.
Yeah, I don't really care for UAP either. I don't want to keep changing things, reinventing. There's no reason to reinvent UFOs. So birds are easy. Birds are always clear. Even at 8 miles out, they're always clear, and you can see the wing beats. And then when you slow it down, they're just sitting there in the air, and they're not moving. Birds are easy. Even falcons, every once in a while, a falcon will fly right in front of my camera, and they're fast. But also, you cannot outrun a 4K 60 frame digital camera. So when you slow it down, the bird is very clear. It's not fuzzy, and they're very slow. It's just, they're fast in real time, but in slow motion, they're slow. So how do I know they're not bugs? Again, that's fair. Again, they trigger your car radar detector, as confirmed by the Pentagon. They will leave an audio click on your video. They create this X-ray. They will mess with your autofocus. and they're baitable. You can just fly in a drone, an Earth drone, it will fly up to it. I have those videos. I have all that videos. Anyone at any time can contact me and say, Robert, I don't believe you. Show me videos with Ospreys, with Apaches, with Blackhawks, with the Coast Guard, with the police, the Lakotas, the sheriff. I have all that. I mean, and not to shake things up, and I'm not trying to scare anyone here. I mean, I was scared for 100 days. It goes away. But whenever the president comes to Los Angeles, he always flies over Marina del Rey. So for the last 12 years, I have UFO dragon videos with the president's helicopters. And those are easy because you go on YouTube and you look at the president in London or in Chicago, and they're flying with the helicopters there. If the science is real, it should be consistent and predictable, and it is very predictable, and it's really not reversible at this point, Dave. It is what it is. So I'm just doing my best. I know I got enough videos, but every day I produce more. I post them. I put it out there. I encourage other people to take the Dragon Challenge, start your own YouTube channel, and it's awareness. It's self-awareness. I don't have anything to sell. Like I said, I'm retired. I did really well in the mail order business. I just want to pay it forward, pay my good karma forward, see humanity get a lucky break. Because we get our hands, and we can get our hands on their technology. And I don't know where these are from. I don't care if they're from the inner Earth, from another planet, or from our future. Or even if they're made, who knows, in Burbank, California. We need to get our hands on that. And why? Because as a pharmacist, I want to see people healthy. And the hospital equipment we have now is good. It's okay. But if we get their hands on technology and understanding of electricity like they understand it, we can have MRIs, X-ray, CAT scans, 1,000, 2,000% sharper resolution. Far more advanced. That's why. That's what motivates me. Not to mention, just other good reasons too. Fast fly to here to London, 30 minutes or less. We can do this. It's here. It's in front of us. It's happening. So record. Just start by recording them yourselves, or go on YouTube tonight. Watch Blue Angels, Shortcut Blue Angels in Chicago. Watch Chicago Blue Angels. A lot of, again, I call them dragons because I thought they were dragonflies because they had to be a bug. They just had to be, but they're not. Again, now you can record them with empty skies, but it's just so much easier to wait for a helicopter. It's probably 1,000% more efficient by waiting for a helicopter or an airplane. And that's how I found so many also. So I get it. I'm making a very crazy, outrageous statement. I mean, some of you are saying, like, what is this guy saying? He's a pharmacist and he makes predictabilities like this with small UFOs. Yeah, it's happening. Call me out. If you have somebody is listening, they have a friend at the Coast Guard, the Army, the Pentagon. Call them right now. What is it? 9:48 p.m. Los Angeles time. Call your friend right now. Text them. Say, hey, someone in the Pentagon, someone at the CIA. Say, hey, what do you know about these things? Is this guy onto something? Just tell me. If they won't tell you, say, tell me off the record. It is what it is. I sat down with Dan Aykroyd 5 years ago. I went to Sony Pictures, Culver City. I showed him everything going on. He was really amazed, very impressed. I mean, he said a lot of stuff. I won't repeat it, but that guy is really connected. He goes, you know what? I'm going to go talk to the police, the LAPD. I said, no kidding, you could do that? He goes, yeah, I could do that. It's no problem. Well, last year, and I never really told anyone that because I don't want to kiss and tell, but last year he was on the Adam Carolla show. And at the end of the show, he says, hey, I know this guy, Marina del Rey. He talked to the sheriff, the police, the fire department, and the pilots are not happy. They told them we're not happy about the situation. They're being buzzed, which is a little annoying. I get that. I was a pilot. I would not want anything around my helicopter. I totally get that. So in other words, it was a soft confession, but it is still a confession. It is what it is. Feel free to call me out. So again, somebody has friends at the Pentagon. They're friends with generals. They're friends with the police, the Coast Guard. Reach out to them. Call them right now. Call them in the morning. I would love that. I mean, I'm not going to take my camera down to the Coast Guard in the marina, or I'm not going to go to downtown LA and talk to the LAPD in person. I mean, I don't think they'd consider it a funny joke. But the evidence speaks for itself. Take the Dragon Challenge. Record it yourself.
I love how you are encouraging people to get out there and do it for themselves, because a lot of this UFO world is very much trust me, bro type science. And yet here you are encouraging people to go out there just to say, hey, it's right there for you. Go check it out. It's right there for the taking. It's kind of like the apple on the tree. Just take the apple.
Exactly. It really is. If the science is real, it should be simple. It should not be hard to repeat or duplicate, and it's not. Again, I'm getting videos all over the world. Just got one. I just got one from Europe a couple of days, recorded by a physician, a gynecologist. He's up at 7. Oh yeah, you could record them in the wintertime too. He's up at 7,000 feet skiing, and he sees a helicopter and records it. A dragon flies by. He sends it to me. It's like unbelievable. Oh, and he's being very proactive, like with this right now. He's contacting the government. He's writing letters. He's like going to get to the bottom of this. He's not just watching. He's getting involved, as a lot of people are. Again, it's really, at this point there's not even 1% doubt. It's 100%. It's 100%. It's repeatable. Over. I could right now, you could say, hey, I was born in this city. We have air shows once a year. I could go to YouTube. I could look at the air shows for last year, the year before. I could find these UFO dragons. I'll take that challenge. That's easy. That's easy. Like I said, it is what it is. I didn't invent it. I didn't invite them here. How long have they been here? We found photos that go back to 1932, Amelia Earhart. But logically, we could assume they've been here a really long time, And old photographs. And, since then, I have people reach out to me. I have some very high-level people reach out, giving me confidential information. It's kind of funny. I get to know somebody for 20 minutes, and they're giving me amazing top secret information, just phenomenal. And I I want to tell you, it's so crazy. I'll give you a little hint, not a teaser, but we're having these incongruous tremors in Los Angeles. These little 3 and 4 tremors going on. They're not organic. They're not normal tremors. I had a very high level official gave me all the information on it. It's nuts. But like I say, take the Dragon Challenge, keep it simple, and go from there. And then, like I said, just if somebody says, hey, I live in this city, find me a dragon. I'll do that tomorrow in my spare time. But go ahead. Yeah, just
those little mini quakes that are happening. I know that during, I believe, the 1990s, early 2000s, after the retirement of the SR-71 Blackbird, the last Thursday of every month, according to Michael Schratt. I don't know if you know his research or not, but he's absolutely incredible and impeccable with his work. He stated that every final Thursday of the month, there was like a 1.2 earthquake coming out of Nevada and rippling through California. And he coincided that with potentially, whatever replaced the SR-71, as it would go from Area 51 over, I believe, close to LA, and then turn right at the ocean and head right up towards Alaska. Do you think that's what it is test aircraft?
No, I do remember that. Being an old guy, I do remember that. Yeah, it was every Thursday. No, it's not that at all. In fact, so I'll give you a little. Let me tell you. So this individual, he contacted me, said, Robert, look, we know about these UFOs, and they are transmedia, so they do sit inside the Earth. The Air Force knows about that, and the Air Force has very sophisticated cameras around their Air Force base. Very sophisticated. I can't stress that enough. So they're recording these right here in Palmdale, California. They're recording these UFOs. If you remember a couple months ago, Lancaster, crazy good UFO videos. Anyway, they're going in the Earth. They're coming out. It's all being recorded. Really, the crazy part, and God, I don't want to burn any bridges. But some scientists in the government decided, hey, let's chase them out of the Earth. Let's shoot sound waves in the Earth and chase them out. Well, you could do that. You potentially could create a little pebbles avalanche under the Earth, aka small tremors. I did a podcast, I think it was 4 months ago. It was 1:00 in the afternoon, and we had a tremor. And I jokingly said, wow, I sure hope the epicenter wasn't out of Malibu, California. And it was. It was. Malibu, California is where the underground UFO base is. You probably know about that. It's a couple miles off the shore in Malibu, 5 miles south of Point Mugu Naval Base. And actually, up until a year ago, it was deleted off of Google Map. You can no longer see it. But it's basically a giant hangar with a flat roof. Somebody poured sand. It's about 2 miles in diameter. Somebody poured sand to try to hide it, but it's gotten a lot of attention, and it's all over the internet. You could just Google Malibu base. You'll see it. So that's why I said jokingly, I hope the earthquake wasn't out of Malibu, but it was, because the scientists obviously are still injecting sound waves to chase them out of the Earth. Now, God forbid, if there's a really big earthquake in LA this year, you might have a clue where it came from, but you didn't hear it from me. Yeah. So, yeah, there's like I said, there's just a lot of information. A lot of people are watching this UFO dragon technology, and they're very interested. I mean, everyone from the government to physicists, physicians, attorneys, people just want the truth. Tell us what you know. They just want the truth. And so that's why I'm here. That's why I'm speaking with you. Tell us whatever it is. The people can handle it. This belief that we cannot handle it, that's from 1950. We could easily handle this. It is what it is. They're here. They're recordable. Let's figure it out. Work together. I don't know. Am I missing something? Am I missing?
No, I think you're absolutely perfect. I really do, because I think what you're doing here is you're really putting an understanding to what is truly happening out there. And once again, I want to repeat to our audience who's just kind of tuned in, you're independent. You're not working for an agency. You're not with MUFON. You're not, and this isn't an insult to any of those groups. You're not with anybody. You're doing this on your own to try and discover your own information. We're going to talk about that. We'll take some audience questions and more in hour 2 with Dr. Robert Shiepe, looking for UFOs on the California coast. We still have to hit what's under the water as well.
Okay, great.
This is Spaced Out Radio with host Dave Scott. All right, we got about 5.5 minutes, Rob. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put you in the green room, and I'll be right back, okay?
Me too. Okay.
All
Me
right.
too.
Be right back, everybody. All right, we got about 45 seconds. Thank you tonight to our super chatters, Kitty Cattywhack, Michelle, T-Bone, my man, and Carla. And thank you to our new membership members on our YouTube channel. Let's give a shout out to Mel WD40 to being number one, Paramarv, AA Ron Baca, Deborah Rooney, Lil Cam, Rock and Rory, Matthew Goodka, T-Bone, Walter. Thank you very much for the love and support. Don't forget, you can shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. So make sure you check it on out. We really appreciate it. And we're going to get going here in 3 seconds. Here we go with hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for tuning us in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Hyperosmia. Hyperosmia is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Dr. Robert Shiepe is here. He lives in Marina del Rey, California. Lots of great whites in the ocean there. So, you got to be careful when you go swimming. You really do. But more importantly, he's into UFOs. He's an independent researcher. He has his own YouTube channel where he's put up videos. He claims to look like UFOs that are kind of shaped like dragons. It's kind of interesting. Dr. Shiepe, welcome back.
Thank you. Dragonflies.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's get to the ocean for a second here, because there is a lot of conjecture and stories about whether or not aliens and UFOs are coming from the waters of the Pacific and flying up into the air, causing a lot of this. What do you know about this?
A little bit about it. Yeah. On June 14, 1992, off the coast of Malibu, several, at least dozens of witnesses called the sheriff, said, hey, I just saw between 50 and 100 lights come out of the water and fly off. Very big deal. You can Google that. There's not a lot has been told about it, but if you do some research, you'll see it's a very real story. Some people have described missing time from that event. And at the same time, again, a few miles off the coast of Malibu, there is a giant anomaly, something that resembles a warehouse. This shouldn't be there, but it is there. Google kind of deleted that a year ago, but it's still, you can still find photos of it. And that's only 35 miles north of me. And of course, 35 miles south of me is Catalina, all UFO territory. And to make it more mysterious too, right here in Marina del Rey, where the jetty rocks are, government research vessels literally put a 20-foot submarine in the water and circled the jetty rocks looking for these small UFOs. No, that's what, and I have that all on video. That's just not, I have that video of the decisive vessel. I think it was in 2020. They lifted a 20-foot submarine and put it in the water. And I said, oh, this is unbelievable. So I left my camera on, and exactly 1 hour later, they pulled it out of the water. And I know why, because the jetty rocks, there's something going on right there. I have hundreds of videos where helicopters fly up, and I do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and these small UFOs will fly by. It's crazy. It sounds made up. It sounds CGI. But it's happening every day. Every day. Oh, and by the way, some of you are thinking, well, Robert, can you record it with 2 cameras? Because that's the gold standard. I agree. That is the gold standard. Yes, as an experiment, I put a camera on my roof just to see if it would ever pay off. And it's 40 feet from the balcony, 40. And yes, when I record these small UFOs, fast movers from the balcony, they do show up on the roof camera.
That is so weird. What do you think they're doing in the water?
Well, of course, that's why the government has spent so much money, because the helicopter pilots can see them going into the water also because of the IR cameras they have. I'm thinking logically, if they're focusing on the jetty rocks, all the ocean waves, all the kinetic energy, these UFOs must be repurposing that kinetic energy into electricity. That's my logical guess. Extracting maybe helium or hydrogen from all that kinetic energy. It's hard to say, but without a doubt, I mean, all the videos, the police, the government, they'll fly up to the jetty rocks, they'll fly circles. Sometimes they lose their temper and they start to fly like they're on a roller coaster. You can see they're very agitated by this stuff. And it works out even better. I just get better video. So the gold standard, yeah, you can record them with 2. Yeah, you can record them with 2 cameras. They do trigger the X-band, your car radar detector. They fly behind objects. It's all that's been done. I often wonder, God, what's the next new discovery I'm going to make? I don't know. Oh, and and 5% of the time they fly in pairs, which I don't understand. What's the concept there? If one UFO has all this advanced technology to recon an aircraft, an airplane, why would you need 2? If one could do the job, why would you need 2? It would be like the mailman, 2 mailmen coming to your door to deliver 1 letter. Like, why do you need 2 when one could do the job? That's probably what I don't understand about them. But it's always good video. And some of you are thinking, well, do they fly non-ballistic? Because when I sat down with the Air Force, they were primarily focused on non-ballistic. In other words, zigzag videos. That's what they wanted to see. That's what they wanted. And I said, yeah, I have them. And over 8 years, I have quite a few. But they're still hard to come by. The majority of the time, 85, 90%, they fly straight. But yeah, they can fly zigzag, no problem. And ironically, they always, whenever they fly zigzag or non-ballistic, they fly right up to the chopper and then fly away. I have one unique one where it was vertical. It just came right off the ground, went up to the chopper and went straight back down. One and only on that one. Yeah, phenomenal. And I call those, by the way, interpolations again. And if you're a researcher, reach out to me, custodianfile@gmail.com. I'll send you a link. I have like 400 of them now, 400 of these photos. You can have them. Put them under electron microscope. Do whatever you want with it. Try to analyze them. There's no fault. There's nothing fake here. I wouldn't be part of that. I'm a clinical pharmacist. I don't have no time for anything fake, nothing like that. I'm a very serious guy. I mean, I like to have fun once in a while. I'm very serious. So take the Dragon Challenge, record them yourself. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. So
let's get to some audience questions here because they are piling up.
Go ahead.
We're going to start off with Paul here. Why do they activate X and K band detectors?
I'm not an engineer, electrical engineer. I could just tell you, I did know X band has to do with radar spectrum, just by doing some research. But for sure, if you take your car radar detector and you point it at the sky, especially in New Jersey with all these things flying around, they just do. And again, that was confirmed by the Pentagon. For 1923, just type in UAP characteristics for 1923, and the chart will pop up. Mach 2, it's really 2.5, but Mach 2 and X-band spectrum. Why? It has to do with probably the RF. You know, they're running on extreme high voltage. It's probably the X-band has something to do with the audio click that they're leaving on the video too. And by the way, the audio click is easy to miss. It's the sound of a pencil dropping. So it's easy to miss it. In fact, it took me 3 years. And I still actually, what happened was over 3 years, people would tell me, Robert, what's that click? I said, there's no click. I said, don't read into data that's not there. Just don't do that. But then 3 years later, I was on the Discovery Channel, and the producer goes, Robert, what's that click? And at that moment, I was converted. I said, sorry, I got to look into this. And yeah, so as a matter of fact, if you're on your computer, one of the best UFO videos I found is Blue Angels Ride Looking Forward. Blue Angels Ride Looking Forward. The timeline is 2313. 2313. In other words, 23 minutes, 13 seconds. And the window goes from 13 seconds to 14 seconds. Remember what I said, hit K for pause. And below the K on your computer is the arrow forwards, arrow backwards. And watch what you see. Watch what you see. You'll see essentially what I think is a portal opening. The dragons fly out, and behind the dragons is a real saucer, UFO. They're sending back telemetry. So I think their primary function is to escort UFOs. Secondary function is to recon the planet completely. So that means wherever UFOs go, if they go to Mars, Saturn, they get escorted by these fast-moving dragons. But then once the dragons are there, they recon the planet. And they recon the same thing over and over. They don't make assumptions. They don't make assumptions like, I reconned you yesterday, or I reconned you 5 minutes ago. They basically will repeat their behavior every minute, every 30 seconds to 60 seconds. It's fascinating. Yeah. So I encourage people to record it yourself. Record them. But, until why the X and K band, it's maybe the government has maybe like for future shows, I could tell you this off the top of my head. We did shoot a dragon. We did shoot one in 2018. I have it on video. It was falling out of the sky. It was coming apart. Yeah. But at the exact same time, the roof camera I have, a second dragon came in like a wingman, rescued the first one. They both took off. Yeah.
Well, let's get to another question here. Let's go next to Gray Owl. Do they respond to certain frequencies like K-band?
You might have a good point there. You might have a very good point there. I don't have that technology. I did buy a police radar gun, but it's incredibly hard to hold a police radar gun and record at the same time. I said, you know what? I need more help until I get more help. But it's a very good question. They probably do. You could probably bait them with K-band, X-band. You could probably bait. And then again, you could just bait them with an Earth drone. I have those videos. And my neighbor across the street was flying an Earth drone over his roof. I turned my camera on. I couldn't turn it on fast enough. I knew I had to act quickly. As soon as I turned it on and put it on the Earth drone, a dragon flew right by it. Crazy good video. Crazy good.
Let's go to Jose here. Can some of these be some kind of nano drones?
Well, they are like about 1 inch. And I've seen those nano drones. I've seen on Google the CIA 1970 nano, and actually they do look, and they mimic real dragonflies. It's a hard call. I don't know how smart humans are. Are we that smart where we see there's so much going on? if they're made by humans, why is the Pentagon chasing them? And why are they flying up to the president's helicopter if they're made by humans? It's just, what are we doing? So
that I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's go to another one. Let's go to Rory. Do the dragons seem to escort or follow our craft?
Yes, they will. It's very predictable. You record aircraft, you record dragons. As far as follow, we don't have that kind of video, not yet. Maybe with more sophisticated software, LiDAR technology, maybe that can be invented. This is all still very new, but I would, if I had to guess, I would say, yeah, aircraft are basically tagged or scanned every 30 seconds in the sky. Yeah. So yeah, they do follow. Yeah.
I'm going to throw a question in here. What do they look like at night? Do they have any lighting on them?
No. If I had like a $50,000 flare high resolution camera, I could record them because the police and the Coast Guard are here at night flying in circles over the water. They can see them with their equipment. I don't have that kind of equipment. But as far as in the daytime, every once in a while, you can see an orange color to them. All orange, looks like an orange cloud. My theory on that, if I could throw out a theory, is that they're running on electricity. They're running on, when you take helium and you electrify, plasma helium is orange when you electrify it. So that's just my opinion why. But yeah, when you see something orange, do a screenshot. Memorize where it is, because that's a dragon. But that's hard to come by. Orange dragons are very hard. Regular dark black dots are very easy, too easy, just too easy. But record them anyway. Keep them in a library. My theory is eventually the NASA, the Pentagon's going to, 2 years, 3 years, they're going to go, look, we surrender. We're taking this serious. We're going to investigate this. And in order to do that job, you're going to need 1 million dragon videos, which the Pentagon does not have. I don't think they have, which means they're going to reach out to you and they're going to want to buy your video. So start recording them and keep them for a rainy day. Not to mention start your own YouTube channel. It's very addicting. That's probably the only negative thing. It's addicting. You record one dragon, you're going to want another. You are not going to stop with one video. I don't know one person that's going to record one dragon and say, okay, I'm done. You're going to want another and another. I can't tell you all the times I'm just walking in a parking lot. I'm going to Costco. I have this one ridiculous Costco video 5 years ago. I go out during COVID and there's a panic and people are buying paper towels and water, toilet paper. I go there because my intuition tells me to go buy a TV. And I didn't need a TV, but after 3 months, I caved in. I said, fine, I'll go buy a TV. I buy a TV. I'm taking it to my truck. I have my nephew. He's helping me. We put it in the truck. And then while I'm standing in the truck, this is so ridiculous. I can hear the LAPD flying in from behind me. Marina del Rey, Costco. I have the video. So I say, Eric, just for the hell of it, turn on your camera. I want to do an experiment. And then I don't even know where this came from because I'm really not that talkative. And I just say, behind me is the LAPD. They're here. They're looking for dragons because I'm here and the dragons are chasing me and they're chasing the dragons. And if you look and slow down the video, you'll see the dragon fly by the helicopter. 17-second video. That's exactly what happened. It's nuts. It's synchronicity. So I guess it was meant to be. That's why I was urged to go buy a TV because you should have this video. You can call me out. You can call me. Just say, Robert, send me that video. You can say, Robert, I don't believe you. Send me Ospreys. Send me the presidents. Send me the fire department, the Lakotas. I got 6,000 videos. I already have them on links. I'll just throw them your way. Take them apart. Do what you want.
All right, let's get to another great question from our audience. Let's go to T-Bone. Is there a way to capture any of these?
Okay, you're asking a really good question, a very complicated question. Normally, I would say, depending on what timeline you're talking about, if we're talking obviously today's timeline in 2025, I would say probably not, but I could tell you this, February 25 on 2018 at 7 o'clock at night, my roof camera recorded 4 Blackhawks coming in from the city out to the ocean. And I was on my balcony and I saw them, and it was very eerie, because the primary, the Alpha chopper, literally had a spotlight, was illuminating the ground as if to say, get out of our way, which you're flying over the wetlands. Like, who are you talking to? And chopper number 3 was black, was flying dark. However, you could see the IR from the roof camera, because digital cameras can see IR. And anyway, the 4 of them made a right turn. They went north. It probably went up to Point Magoo. So you're saying, is there any way to capture one? Well, 2 days later, Sunday at 2 o'clock, that was February, I guess 2 days later, those 4, highly likely, those 4 same Blackhawks, they frantically come back to Marina del Rey, and they're flying in circles like a wagon, like the Cowboys and Indian thing. And I tell my wife, turn on your cell phone, record them. And sure enough, you could see these dragons flying between the 4 frantic Blackhawks. So my point is, I think we did capture one. In 2018, we did shoot one down. It got away. But then a few months later, these 4 choppers come in. I assume the chopper number 3 had a captured dragon. I assume it went to Point Magoo. They opened the box. It flew out, returned to origin, came back to Marina del Rey. It's all documented. I have that on my channel, Custodian File. I mean, it is what it is. It's, you know, if you're the government, don't be mad at me. I mean, I didn't invent these things. I'm just a dude standing on my balcony recording the ocean. Come on. I'm not even standing on the sidewalk. Technically, the sidewalk's government property. I'm standing on my balcony. What do you want? Not to mention now, it's all over the world. There's hundreds of people recording these now. So is there a way to capture? I don't think so anymore. I think we took our best shot in 2018. And I think these dragons said, you know what? That's the last time you're ever going to get that lucky. Because I don't have any kind of captured video after that. But only the Pentagon can answer that for sure. That's a great question.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Dr. Robert Shiepe is with us. He's an independent UFO researcher based out of Marina del Rey, California. You can go to his YouTube channel, check things out. His videos of these dragonfly-like UFOs that just seem to be absolutely everywhere. This is Spaced Out Radio, the second half of the show coming up next.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
We are clear. We got just over 5 minutes. Good times tonight. Great job.
Thank you. I'm doing my best here, but great questions. Yeah.
If
Bring
we
the
don't get
questions.
through all the questions from our audience, because right now there's probably about a dozen or so.
Okay.
Do you want to stick around for one more half hour?
I'll hang in there. Yeah. I'll hang in there. It's been a long day, but I'll hang in there. Yeah.
Perfect. I appreciate that.
By the way,
Let's see how we do this next half hour.
okay. By the way, just real quick, have you heard of Major George Filer New Jersey, Major George Filer.
I've heard the name.
Okay, you really want to talk to this guy. He is officially the only UFO officer the Air Force ever recognized and created. So he has all the information, and you should interview him for 1 hour. He's 90 years old. I hope he lives to 100, but you really want to interview this guy.
Do you have a contact number for him?
I'll send it to you.
Send it to Klaus.
Okay. Yeah, I am not exaggerating when I say you want to talk to this guy. He's the only, because he was the UFO officer from 57 to 77. And I said, Major, who took your place when you retired? He goes, I don't know. And and I thought about it. And you know why he doesn't know? Because there was no replacement. It was considered too high of a risk to have somebody with that much information. And only 4-star generals and 4-star admirals have access to UFO information. So with disclosure coming, if you see anyone under a 4-star rank, don't take them serious. Because only 4-star admirals and generals have clearance, and that's it. You really want to talk to this. He was at New Jersey Air Force Base when there was a dead alien on the runway.
Right.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy that made it public. So just want to put that out there because there's so much information, Dave, and I'm trying to put it out there quickly and be transparent and candid. My mind is like a pinball. There's so much data. But I mean, I probably gave too much information. Has there ever been is there any way to capture one? Well, I think we did in 2018, but we're never going to get another chance. They smartened up. They did. It's something like, remember Star Trek in the 90s when we could shoot the Borg a couple of times before they adjusted to our phasers? That's what it is. They smartened up. You're not going to sucker punch us again. And I have no video of them ever being captured or shot down again. So, but the video I have it speaks for itself. It eventually, I mean, they're not going to want to admit, but there's no way to wiggle out. How do you wiggle out of 10,000 videos? You just basically, say, you know what? Okay, there's a compromise here. Yes, this is real, but we don't want to comment anymore. That's the compromise. And then we get more information later. But yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. It's nuts. Isn't it? A lot's going on. A lot.
Yeah.
It's not slowing down, at least not at all. Not at all. But over the years, I would say the Pentagon, the sorties have gone down because I'm posting and I'm doing these podcasts. And, I'm sure they don't like it. And I'm not trying to be a bad guy. It's just that people deserve to know. Just tell us. We're not going to melt down. We're not going to quit our jobs. We're not going to stop buying food. We're not going to stop spending money. Life will go on. It will go on. It is what it is. Just come on. Let's take this information and benefit from it. Like I said, just from the science alone, just from the medical aspect, the X-ray machines.
Hold on right there, my friend. We're coming back in 25 seconds. Big thank you tonight to Kitty Caddywhack, Michelle, T-Bone, and Carla for the great super chats. And our new membership that we have on our YouTube channel, Walter, T-Bone, Matthew, Rory, Lil Kim, Deborah Rooney, AA Ron, Paramarv, and Mel WD40. Thank you for the love for that. And we're going to get going here in about 7 seconds. Second half of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. We appreciate you tuning us on in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hey, we want to remind everybody that if you miss portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the Newswire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. And if you want some private viewing time, we now have a membership open up on our Spaced Out Radio YouTube channel. Final time tonight, well, maybe. He might go another half hour. Dr. Robert Shiepe is here, independent UFO researcher, and we're glad to have you here, Dr. Robert, talking about the big views that you have. Before we get into more questions, have you ever had an opportunity to talk with people from NASA, or I know you mentioned the Coast Guard earlier as well, or government agents about your findings?
Yeah, okay, so I did sit down, and I don't want to go into detail. I did sit down with the CIA, the United States Air Force, SETI. SETI has come to the house. In fact, I'll even tell you who it is. Sheldon Reynolds of Earth, Wind, and Fire. He walked in. He gave me his card. I said, "You're Sheldon Reynolds." He goes, "Yeah, but I'm a member of SETI, and I'm here to check this out." I have his card. I mean, you can Google that. Nobody knows that. Let's see, the Vatican. I did reach out to the Vatican. I had to help with some people at the church. History Channel. I kind of lose track. Everybody I've given this to. The military-industrial complex. Yeah, I have a liaison there. They know about it. They know about it. Remind me later to show you the letter from Lockheed that I have. I don't want to really post the contents, but I've told everyone. There's really nobody left off the top of my head. There's really no one left to tell because it's not top secret. That's why I'm sharing it. It's not top secret, and they're not they're not my UFOs. So I mean, people say, "Aren't you afraid of the UFO police?" Well, they're not mine. So what can I say?
Let's go to Kim here. Do you believe that these things that you're capturing are military or alien?
Well, again, if they're military, why is the Pentagon chasing them? Why are they all over the world? And why are they flying up to the president's helicopter? And I'm sure they're flying up to the president of other countries too. If somebody was to post those videos, I actually have not done that, but I'm sure I could type in, show me helicopter videos of the president of China or Russia or France. Yeah, you would see these dragons flying up to their helicopter. So not likely. It's my guess. I mean, I had an insider, he passed away, but my guess is they're from our future. But that's just my guess. But I think they're from our future. Yeah.
Follow up from Kim. What do you make of the drone cluster over New Jersey?
Right. So I just found one of them crashed, a daytime picture. It's a Reaper. It's a U.S. Air Force Reaper. I think what happened is, 2 years ago, these UFO dragons, they were swarming the CIA headquarters for 17 days. 17. I think that really shook them up, and they sent up every Reaper drone they have on the East Coast. I think that's what's going on. Now, I do encourage anyone on the East Coast, especially New Jersey, to take your car radar detector, point it at the sky, and see if it goes off. Because it's very likely these Reaper drones are chasing the dragons. Now, they have not shown up over Los Angeles, the Reaper drone. NASA has. I have a lot of NASA video of NASA jets flying over Marina del Rey, flying circles. but yeah, the clusters over New Jersey, yeah, those are ours. Those are Reapers. Yeah, and I know everyone's like, and the government's saying, "Oh, we don't know. We don't know." Again, top secret. What's the secret? Just give me a clue, and maybe I'll stop talking. What's the secret? I don't get it.
I don't know either. I don't know. Let's go to T-Bone here. What do you think their propulsion system is?
High voltage, extreme high voltage. Obviously artificial gravity. But and how are they doing that? Well, obviously the metamaterials can withstand voltage of 1 million, maybe 10 million, maybe 100 million without vaporizing. I think I did ask AI that question. I said, look, what would it take to go from 0 to 2,000 miles an hour, assuming you're 8 ounces in weight? And AI said it would take basically 1 million volts of house current to do that. It's not to mention also, they're always over high-powered nuclear power plants. And I have a video right here of them coming down high voltage lines, 34,500 volts. So I put my money on electricity. Yeah. Great question.
Another one from T-Bone. Are boats in the equation when sightings are happening?
Yeah, well, the boats, as far as the government research vessels, yeah. Now, are boats in general being tagged? I would assume, but nobody's ever taken the time. You're out on a boat to record the sky. I would encourage that. I've tried looking for that, but not many people are on their boat and taking pictures of blue skies. That's the drawback. But yeah, the research vessels that were here, the Ocean Investigator, that's actually the title, the Ocean. It's a big orange vessel. The Decisive and the USS Gabriella Gifford. Call me out. Call the captain of the USS Gabriella Gifford. Say, hey, you were here in 2021 in the Marina del Rey. What were you looking for? That's it. Call me out on it. What were you looking for? You were lost. Your engines were broken. You're having lunch. Were you? You know what is? Look out your window. You see a warship parked in front of you, parked a few miles away. That's nuts. That's never been done. It's never been done. So yeah, our boats. You could say the boats are because they were all getting tagged. I have the video of that. Yeah, if you're a serious researcher, I'll give it to you. As long as you're not HBO or Netflix and you want to sell the video. But if you're a researcher, you can have all the videos. Simple. Goes without saying. It's open source.
All right, let's go to Amanda. Do you think there are giant aliens to go along with these things?
Wow. Well, that's a very open-minded question. In other words, what appears to be 1 inch to us, we don't know dimensional physics. We don't know how big the inside is. In fact, when I was talking to the CIA, they kept asking, are there life forms inside? Are there life forms? And I was puzzled. I said, I just told you they're 1 inch. How could there be a life form in 1 inch? But in the interest of open minds, we don't know dimensional physics. It could be 300 feet inside that little object. So I don't know. I wish I had the answer. Like I said, the insider I had, he passed away in 2010. So he could have answered that. He could have told me exactly. But I don't have that.
Let's carry on here.
Well, keep going.
Up next, we have Matthew. Are dragons related to the flying strings of the 1990s, 2000s?
I think you're referring to rods. They're separate. Rods are associated with dragons. My roof camera records rods all the time. But rods are slower, and they look like the sine waves. But no, maybe they work with dragons in some detail. We don't know. Maybe it's part of a network. The dragons are collecting information. Maybe the rods are connecting forensic information. Maybe the dragons give that information to orbs. They're like detectives, and then the orbs come around and look around, and they fly very slow. It's probably part of a giant network. I would say that that would be my guess. Rods, dragons, orbs, saucers. Yeah.
All right, let's go next to, let's see, Paul here. Have you ever been approached to keep quiet on your research?
Only that I know, I know my channel's being, shadow banned. But no, I think because, again, I'm not doing anything wrong. And plus, if they did, you better believe I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell all the other channel people out there that this is what's going on. This is what happened. They walked up to me. I mean, I got cameras all over my house. It's just, yeah. It's so you don't want to do that. You don't want to come up and tell me to be quiet, because that's going to go the opposite way. Yeah. It's just, why would I betray humanity?
True. True. T-Bone is asking, where do you think these things land?
So based on the video, they're sprinters. They fly for 1 or 2 seconds. They come off the ground. They fly, they arc, they go back down. They stay on the ground for 2 seconds, and then they repeat. So they land either in the wetlands, they land on buildings, roofs, or in the ocean. It makes it very hard. They're very strategic, makes it very hard. If you're an Army chopper, a Black Hawk, and you can see them a mile ahead, by the time you come within a half a mile, they just leave. They don't want confrontation. Although they'll fly up to your windshield, they don't want confrontation. They'll just keep flying. And again, they fly behind helicopters, airplanes, blimps. It's endless. It would blow your mind if you saw the library of videos I have. And I'm not a time traveler. My best friend was, but I'm not.
You had a best friend who was a time traveler?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to tell us this story. You can't be hiding this from us.
Well, I'm not hiding. I don't want to make this sound too complicated. And it's like, oh, now I know this guy's making this up. I mean, nobody can record UFOs. But actually, if you think about it, it actually fit. So his name was Glenn Faulenstein. He was world famous. People assume what he did was magic. He was telepathic, a time traveler. I was friends with him for 25 years. And you should hear the stories I have and what his gift. He was born with it. He was just born with it, and just in fact, so he was so gifted. You see, and I don't mind deviating. I don't mind if we want to go from dragons to time travelers, but he was so gifted that the United States government in 1970 and 1974 came to him twice and said, Glenn, stop predicting the future. I can go into a little more detail if you want. I mean, that's just...
Please, we got time.
We got time,
so
okay.
I got to hear this.
Okay, so Glenn did this radio show in Studio City, California, at NBC Studio City, California. And he in 1974, and he documented it. I have all the cassette tapes from 50 years ago. That's how I have a lot of this information. So, but I do remember going and having the dinner one time, and it came up. He said that in 1970, the government, somebody had asked him, hey, who's going to win the Rose Bowl? What team's going to win? What's the score? So he goes, no problem. He tells them the winning team, the score. And he goes, oh, by the way, this is the attendance to the exact person. 100,000, 120 people. Well, it was 100% correct. And this was all easy for him. It was just like this, faster than you could read a text on your phone. He could give you this information. Well, the next day, the government rang his doorbell. It was the FCC, 1970. And they said, Glenn, we got to talk to you about this radio thing you did the other day about the Rose Bowl. We can't have you doing this anymore. You've got to stop. Glenn, you don't understand. Someone like you could change the future. You can cause the stock market to crash. So please don't be making comments anymore. It was the FCC. And then they said, oh, by the way, technically it's illegal to use the radio to make predictions. I don't know if that was BS. I don't know if they were trying to scare them. How do you scare somebody who's telepathic? I mean, it's not, but basically he goes, okay, I won't do it anymore. So if you're listening to what I just said, you could be 100 of the most brilliant attorneys in the world and you just missed what I just said. You just missed what I just said. So what did Glenn just agree to? He agreed to a verbal contract. What did he just agree to? That he'll stop making predictions on the radio regarding predictions in the United States. Otherwise, why is the FCC there?
Is he still alive?
He passed away 2010.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. And now he was omniscient. I'm not exaggerating. Just the Rosetta. You want to know what the Rosetta Stone? He'd read it to you faster than you could listen.
How was he time traveling?
He could it was spontaneous for him. So check this out. 1974, he does this radio show. I'll get back to the time travel. 1974, he does the radio show. And so what he did was, because he's a man of his word, he doesn't make any more predictions in the United States. So he goes, that's okay. I'm going to tell you the horse races in Tijuana, Mexico, Caliente Racetrack, Tijuana, Mexico. I'm going to tell you who's going to win the race every day ahead of time. He writes it down on a piece of paper, gives it to people in the audience here, puts it in an envelope. He plays the horse race on the radio live. People, even back then, there are 10, 20,000 people were calling in. Probably 100, 200,000 people were listening in the radio, Los Angeles. He's 100% always right. Always. Not 99% correct. 100% correct. Well, after 100 days, the Mexican government calls the American government and says, hey, we got a problem. This guy, Glenn, is making us look crooked because he's predicting the horse races correctly every day. And nobody can do that unless we're running a crooked outfit and he's connected and he's part of it. So you got to stop this. So again, the FCC returns to his house in 1974. And they say, look, you got to stop. This is just a big problem. This is an international problem now. He goes, look, I'll compromise with you. I won't make the predictions anymore on the radio, but I'm going to tell the people in the audience. And back then, there were about an audience of 500 people seats and then 500 people outside trying to get in. This is the level he's on. I mean, even though it's 50 years ago, somebody must have a friend of a friend at the FCC who knows about Glenn Faulenstein. He's got a couple of videos on YouTube. It's not magic. People said, oh, this guy was a magician. People assumed it was magic. He never said that. He never said, he just said it was just telepathy. I'm a mentalist. And as far as the time travel goes, I asked him one day, I said, Glenn, have you ever met anyone who's telepathic as you are? He goes, yeah, at the radio show in 1974. And then it just hit me. It just hit me. Like, I said, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, a time traveler showed up to talk to me. And then I asked I said, Glenn, and at that point, when I started asking detailed questions, Glenn got a little nervous for the first time ever. But he did tell me what the guy was doing, why he was here. He was researching, and he told me his name. So I don't want to repeat his name, but he was doing research on one of the founding fathers, 1776. But as far as time travel goes, that was easy for him. You can ask him anything about the future. He would just instantly tell you. Dave,
Right.
if he was here right now, he could say, Dave, do you have a dollar bill in your pocket? Pull it out. He'd read the serial number to you. Just like that.
Wow.
100% accurate. I know.
We got 3 minutes to go here. Let's get to another question from our audience. Go to Jose here.
Okay.
You say they look like dragonflies. Might they be some sort of advanced or ET fairies?
It's a tough question to ask. I can just tell you they look like dragons because, well, they don't have a long body. They have a short body, and they have 2 plasma jets, not 4, like a real dragonfly. But it's hard to say. You know, Glenn was my insider. Without Glenn, Glenn could tell me what planet they were made on. So I don't have the knowledge. I wish I did.
No problem. Let's go to T-Bone here. How do you think they're piloted?
It's got to be AI, I would think. Yeah. It's got to be AI, autonomous, but yet, of course, controlled. They're sending back data in real time. I'm sure, because logically, that's what you would do. You would just send back data in real time. That's what our satellites do, right? Our spy satellites, they recon and they send back live video streams all the time. Yeah.
Follow up from T-Bone. How many agencies have been in touch with you?
Well, officially, none of them want to reach out and talk to me. I go to them first. So I've been proactive. I volunteer information. So there's no reason to reach out to me because I've already given away all my information. The only reason for them to reach out to me is tell me to be quiet. And they should know by now that's not going to happen. And if they probably have researched, because I bring up Glenn Faulenstein's name a lot. If you're an intel agency, if you punch in Glenn Faulenstein's name, it's a good possibility you might get fired. You'll be reprimanded. Why? Why is that? Glenn was in the Air Force, 1948, 1952, Iceland. Okay. Well, Iceland Air Force is only there for one reason: to spy, to intercept cables, transmissions from the East Coast over the North Pole to Russia and China. That's their only function, among others, but that's their primary. Well, if you had the bad luck of sending a spy transmission from 48 to 52, and Glenn was there, they would give Glenn a blank piece of paper, say, look, 3 o'clock in the morning, we had a transmission. We don't know what it says. Glenn would say, give me the paper. He'd read the whole thing out instantly. And he'd tell you the name, who sent it, and where they lived. If they were in New York City, he'd give you their name, address, phone number. He said, just go there. This is where it came from. And if you check AI, go on AI and say, AI, listen, on any 10-year period, 1930, 1940, 1960, 1970, how many spies are captured in general in the world?
Right.
AI says from 0 to 2. In general, you're not going to catch our boys. We're not going to catch yours. They're too well trained.
Hold that thought. Hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio and the UFO Talk continues right after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
All right, we are clear. How do you feel? Do you feel you got another 30 minutes in you?
Maybe 20 minutes.
Well, it'll be probably about 17 minutes. I just got to get through story time with Swamp Dweller, do the intro, and then bring you on till the bottom of the hour.
Okay, let's do it, Dave.
All right. We're just going to take a quick break here. I'm just going to put you in the green room, and I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Be right back, everybody. All right. Excuse me one sec. All right.
All right, ready to go.
Yeah.
So where did we
Thank
leave?
you tonight to our super chatters, Kitty Cattywhack, Michelle, T-Bone, and Carla, and to our new members, Walter, T-Bone, Matthew, Rory, Lil Kim, Deborah Rooney, Paramarv, AA Ron, and Mel WD40, who's lubed us up very nicely for this show. Very nicely. Scott Rosen, how you doing? Caught up on people. Don't forget you can shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. I went and put up a bunch of new Bigfoot shirts in there that are really cool, so you might want to check those out. See if they suit you, because you'd look good in them. You would, I promise. Hour number 3 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for tuning us in, wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone tuning us in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the Newswire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Hyperosmia. Hyperosmia is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's go to the swamp.
Hello and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Swamp. I'm Swamp Dweller, and tonight I'm going to take you on a mystic journey of the unknown, sharing tales of monsters, legends, and nightmares. Welcome to the Spaced Out Radio Swamp. This isn't a scary story about myself, but from my mother. My mother has been working for a grocery store that is well known. It's called Save Mart. This is one of the times that I've been scared for my mother. Back sometime in 2019, my mother was taking some of the old boxes from the meat department out to the trash. This meant she needed to bring them right out back behind the store. So her being the hard-working and best employee at the store, she does as needed. But the only problem was that when she was going out to the dumpster, she sees this homeless man. Now, inherently homeless people aren't bad, and that's not what we're trying to push here. Usually, my mom would just tell them that they couldn't be there and they had to leave. But when she looked at this man, she noticed something blood-chilling. He was smiling, but not just a normal, "Hello, miss, how are you doing today" smile. It was the "watch me go crazy and hurt someone" type of smile. Right after noticing his creepy smile, she notices this shiny object in his hand. You guessed it, it was a knife. In my mother's words, she said, "Oh, hell no," and booked it back into the store. She didn't have enough time to close the big back door behind her because of how heavy it was, so she immediately ran to her coworker. His name is Tom, so she immediately ran to Tom and said, "Hey, some homeless guy's out there with a knife." Right as he finished saying this, guess who comes through the doorway with that same smile and knife in hand? You guessed it, the random homeless man. They both noticed him immediately, and Tom began grabbing this big butcher's knife off the table, and the homeless man can see that. He knows that his cheap blade is nothing, and books it out. But that isn't the end of my mom's new friend. Who else but our friend the homeless man charges into the store trying to stab some of the workers, and people luckily get the man and throw him to the ground. Luckily, he didn't hurt anyone that we knew of. He took off soon after. They did call the police, but since he was homeless and not in the store, they couldn't really do anything except watch the building to make sure he didn't come back. I love my mom. Man, I hope she doesn't have to go through anything like that again. And I know how bad our small city has gotten. It's all too possible that that guy could have been drugged out or something, and that might have been my last day with her. So every time I hug my mom, I make sure to squeeze her a little bit harder, because you never know when a random person will strike. Yes, this story may not sound true, but I promise you it is. I'm sorry that the grammar might not be amazing, but thank you for sharing it if you do. My city has a large homeless population, so this is probably a very normal thing for my mom, but she is okay. If you want to see what I mean, or if you live around Merced, California, you know what Save Mart I'm talking about, and you know our homeless population. But to all the workers out there, stay safe. And to everybody who's homeless and not doing crazy things, please be safe as well. I know it's a dangerous lifestyle.
Thank you to Swamp Dweller for another spooky story. If you want more just like that, head on over to his YouTube channel, Swamp Dweller, hit subscribe, ring that bell. Now, normally we go to the UFO report, but Robert Shiepe is going to stick with us, the great doctor, independent UFO researcher, answering audience questions on the big story of UFOs. You ready for more, Dr. Shiepe, as we go to the bottom of the hour?
Absolutely, Dave. Let's bring it. Go ahead.
All right. T-Bone is asking, do you have dragon videos from other countries?
Yes, a lot. Yeah, like I said, I just got one from a gynecologist last week. He was at 7,000 feet doing skiing. Saw a helicopter. Really good video too. Just recorded the helicopter, and sure enough, dragon they're all over the world. And obviously 7,000 feet with a bunch of snow. It's pretty cold out there. Yeah, you could record them summer, winter, 724, 365 with predictability. Just you can, with a little bit of practice, you could do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they'll fly by. Airports, just go to your airport, record airplanes landing. Those are really easy. In fact, just right here outside my balcony, Culver City, California, the runway, there's the north runway to LAX, flies right over Culver City. And every time I turn my camera on, right over Culver City, they fly up to the airliners. Really easy, all the time, over and over. Well, 4 years ago, China Airways saw one of these dragons and reported it to the FAA. And you can go on Google, you can see that report. But it's specifically over the airspace over Culver City. I don't, but they're everywhere. They're oh my God, they're everywhere. I can't stress it enough. I mean, I know people that work in the military industrial complex, and they're recording these things. And they've been told, if you want to keep your job, don't talk about this anymore. So yeah, but it's kind of common knowledge now at all the big boys. It's common knowledge. They're here. There's nobody can delete it and nobody can add to it. They're just here. Now, maybe some people say, well, maybe it's a bug from another dimension. I don't know. What I'm saying, we need to investigate it and figure it out. A lot of things in life are easy. Some things are hard. Let's do this because it's hard. The good news is there's a lot of us willing to sit down and figure it out. And we will. There's a lot, you get a lot of gifted people. We will figure it out. So I'm planting a seed. Let's go forward.
Let's do it. All right, let's move to another question. Let's go to Gray Owl. Ever seen one buzz an aircraft or vessel going orbital or into subspace?
Orbital. Well, when they zigzag, they're hard to come by, yeah, but the zigzags they do, if you mean like, do they circle the aircraft? Yeah, they're hard to come by, but we do have video like that. Yeah. Subspace, I mean, as far as leaving the orbit, that's hard to say. I mean, your camera, basically, you can only see so far. You could see a dragon, basically a silhouette of 10 inches, like a small football. On a clear day with a good camera, you can kind of push it. You can push it to 15 miles, but it's hard to say. In other words, I wouldn't bet against it. They probably are in orbit. Yeah, like the space shuttle, the space labs up there. I'm sure they're recording them. They're not saying anything. They're ubiquitous. These dragons are everywhere. They're easy, and they're on the ground, not necessarily aircraft. It's just, for me, it's just so much easier to wait for a helicopter and an airplane. I only have so much free time, and as you can see, I mean, I'm stretching every minute out of the day. But yeah, take the Dragon Challenge. Record them. You'll see remember, it's only going to be a dot. You're only going to see the one in the center. There's no way a human eye is going to see it track across your screen. It's not going to happen. But you'll see a dot, and then you go back and you play it slow motion, frame by frame. Sure enough, you'll see them. And again, or if you don't want to record, just go on YouTube. Look at the Blue Angels, Thunderbirds, Red Arrows. They're in every city. If you want, maybe fast forward, make it easier, look at Blue Angels, Chicago. Those are real easy. Or again, Blue Angels Ride, looking forward, timeline 2313. Tell me what you see. I think you'll get a kick out of that.
All right, moving on to another question here. Let's go to, let's see here. Jules. So do you think that they are an intelligent plasma creatures or created beings or exotic vacuum beings, or do we just not have a clue yet?
Yeah, that's too advanced. The question's too advanced. We know that there's some plasma going on because those lightning bolts, that's a clue. You see them when it's moving. So that they're telling you, hey, this is like our jet engines. This is our car exhaust. And that's got to be plasma. They're not running on gasoline, kerosene, or candle wax. And you could safely assume electricity is universal throughout the universe. Because really all you need with electricity is kinetic energy, and the whole universe is kinetic energy. But no, we don't know. Maybe somebody knows, but right now you put your money on plasma. You can't be, again, they're triggering the X and K band, and they're leaving an audio click. That's got to be plasma related.
Let's go to Kim. Have you ever seen the Men in Black?
No, the closest thing I've ever seen, though, I shouldn't even be telling you, but was an asset from a foreign country that was here trying to record the dragons. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was my lucky day or his bad luck day, I was on my balcony. I zoomed in on this asset and recorded what he was doing. And I got to tell you, my intuition, instinctively, I knew if this guy sees you doing this, Robert, it's going to be a problem. When you see this video, I'm not profiling, but when you see this guy was business. This guy was 100% in business. And we're not talking Wall Street. I mean, this is from a foreign government. And he did everything right, parked around the corner, walked up to this strategic location to film them. He pulls a tripod out of his jacket, connects a camera. He stands there for 2 minutes, puts it back in his pocket, and walks away. And that's when it really got scary, because he was walking toward me. And I'm like shaking, but I'm recording. I'm zoomed in on his face. And I'm like, please don't look up. Whatever you do, don't look up. So I don't know what I was going to do if he saw me. So that's the closest thing. And I want to give that video to the FBI, because you do a facial recognition. This guy's connected to 100 other spies. I mean, it's just one of those things I haven't reached out and done yet. You know, if the FBI wants to call me, I'll give you that video. That's no big deal. Yeah.
Another question from our audience. Let's go back to Matthew here. We already asked that one. I apologize. Let's go to T-Bone. Do you believe that these are AI driven, in your opinion?
I would think logically, yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's not some alien sitting with an RC remote control driving these things around. It's got to be all AI. Yeah, that's a very safe assumption, right? And of course, the more you watch my videos, other people's videos, and let me tell you, the other people that are watch my channel and now they're recording their own dragons, they're getting really good video. I often joke around. I say, if we ever have a dragon contest video, who has the best video, I wouldn't even win, Dave. I wouldn't even win my own contest because other people are recording outstanding videos of these things. I don't know, it's kind of funny. I mean, I might come in third. So, yeah, that'd be kind of fun, though, to do that on a large scale. If you do start your own dragon channel, I'd recommend now calling it UAP Dragon and then the city you're in. So that way people go on YouTube, they want to see everybody's dragon videos, you're guaranteed to easily find everyone. Because some people actually title, they don't use the word UAP or dragon in the title. And so there's really almost very hard to find it. But just go UAP Dragon Miami, UAP Dragon Houston, Toronto, whatever. Yeah.
Another question coming from Gray Owl. He says, big props. This is a comment, and then I'll ask a question. Big props for you taking the initiative to conduct the research you have, Dr. Shiepe. Outstanding. And then the question is, any of those helos that you've been talking about have a targeting pod by chance, rod or arm sticking out of the front?
Yeah, they do. Those are the LiDAR choppers, the pods. The LiDAR people are here, and they're running grids. And I've, again, planefinder.net, and I do take the time to screenshot the grids. And the LiDAR does fly over the Marina del Rey, and right at the predicted airspace, they fly up to our LiDAR choppers. There's a couple ID numbers offhand. I think one is 220. It's a black and red. And other LiDAR choppers, maybe the 216. Again, they give you the flight numbers, the IDs. Planefinder is very addicting in itself. It's free. You can see the flight path of every airplane in the world. It's nuts that it's just out there. But yeah, absolutely the pods. And if you want that, again, it's the LiDAR people. Just say, Robert, send me your LiDAR videos. I have a lot. It's all documented. It's undeniable. If you were to show it to the pilots, they would walk away. They wouldn't even want to talk to you. Because what they're doing, the assumption is it's top secret. Nobody knows we're here. Nobody has a clue. Right. That's fine. It's just, for whatever it is, the synchronicity. I think the universe wants this out. That's what's going on. I think the universe is tired of this UFO top secret. And I think maybe that's one reason why I was such good friends with Glenn Faulenstein. They want the information out. And there's no stopping it. I really see there's no stopping it at this point. Too many videos. What are you going to do? Like I said, they were over the CIA for 17 days. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. Just try to open communications. Try to communicate with them. Let's somehow telepathic. There's a few people that are somewhat good telepathic. We can communicate with them. They respond. Oh, by the way, another thing for bait, they respond to your telepathy, to your thoughts. So ask them to fly by. Have your camera on. It's free. Take the Dragon Challenge. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything.
Let's go to another question from Gray Owl. Do you think they strafe satellites?
That's a tough question. I don't have any video, but probably anything electronic. Yeah, you could safely assume that. So in other words, are our satellites taking? Well, yes, our satellites are taking pictures of them because in the summer of 2017, when the invasion started over Marina del Rey, the assumption is the Pentagon satellites, and I was talking to a friend in the Air Force, they said we had some new satellites, went online in 2016. So they must have, the satellites automatically, like LiDAR technology, they picked up these fast movers over the marina. And that's when they sent in the Coast Guard and the Navy to figure it out. You could assume they're tagging again the autonomous cars that are driving around. They're flying up to them. The engineers later, I'm sure they'll release the videos or they'll sneak out some videos. It's coming. That's coming. There's no way you're going to keep that secret that they're not flying up to autonomous cars. They are. Yeah.
All right, let's get to one final question for you tonight. Jose is asking, historically, UFOs have always been outmatched or have always outmatched fighter jets. So what about videos of helicopters chasing them down so easily? Might they really be drones they're chasing and not actual saucers?
That's a great question. A couple things here. So, geez, it's amazing. Because I'm friends with Major George Filer in the Air Force, he told me that for 20 years, we tried to shoot down a UFOs. And for 20 years, we lost a fighter jet every day for 20 years. I know that's hard to believe, but we did. As far as the helicopters go 100 to 150. These are going 2,000 miles an hour. That's one of the things the CIA asked me. They said, why do we keep sending in helicopters when they're no match? I said, I don't know. Why don't you call them? Call the police, call the fire department, call the sheriff. Call the UFO police. And you know, there is no, if you ask Google who the UFO police is, Google has no answer. But I can tell you, in 8 years of research and looking at flight data, I have a real positive clue who the UFO police are in America. So you can talk to them. I mean, I don't want to put it out there. You know, they're going to Robert, why did you rat us out? It's not that hard to assume who they are. Put it this way. A couple years ago, there was a major sighting in San Diego, 10 o'clock at night, major sighting. And the news people were there and they were trying to get to the bottom of it. So the news people went to the police. Police said, I don't know. Go talk to the sheriff. Sheriff said, I don't know. Go talk to the Army. Army said, I don't know. Go talk to the Coast Guard. Coast Guard, I don't know. And, you know, it was frustrating. I said, you know what? This is ridiculous. Let me do a little research. So I go, well, I know it was yesterday, 10 o'clock at night. Let me take a shot in the dark. I go on planefinder.net. You can time travel back. I said, what did the skies over San Diego look like at 10 o'clock last night? And sure enough, you see this Navy plane circling, registered and owned by Homeland Security. That's who the UFO police are.
I think we might have time for one quick one here. Let me just find it. T-Bone is asking, do you think psionic powers are involved?
You can call them in. You can call them in psychically, absolutely. Telepathically, absolutely. 100%. You know what? Telepathy is nothing but a radio frequency. And Glenn did tell me by the year 2037, telepathy would be common. So I think he's implying telepathy will be an app. And what Elon Musk already mentioned that his Neuralink will make us telepathic. And that's of today. So in 12 years from now, yeah, it'll be an app. It'll be, and you have to agree. You'll be an accept button on your phone. So nobody can read your mind without your acceptance. You have to hit that button. But yeah. Straightforward.
Dr. Shiepe, I want to say a big thank you for coming on and staying late with us on Spaced Out Radio tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here, and we encourage all of our viewers to head on over to your YouTube channel and watch your Dragonfly videos. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you to all your viewers. I appreciate the love and respect. Thank you.
Coming up next, the Dave 101 and the weird news of the week.
This is Spaced Out Radio. Your host, Dave Scott.
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all the questions. Your audience sounds very intelligent. That
They're great. They're very, very brilliant.
they're
Yes.
like on top of this. They're going to accept the challenge.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. My friend, I will let you go.
Thank you.
And you have a great night, okay?
Thank you. You too, Dave. Appreciate it.
Take care. Dr. Robert Shiepe, everybody. What a great guy. Great guy. You know what I like about him is that he only talks about what he has found. He's not trying to manipulate anything. He's not trying to overstep his own knowledge or boundaries like many researchers do. He's just getting you what he's got, and he's leaving it up to you to believe. So we appreciate that. Good guy. Very good guy. All right. Dave 101 next. Yeah. Now, Deboruni, if you're listening, please understand, because I love you to death. I do. But I'm not going to put up a question with a super chat that has radio shows hosts becoming serial killers. And I know the humor of it. I saw the humor of it, and internally I was snickering. But I'm not going to put that question up. Okay? You know, I do have to try and look somewhat professional in front of my guest. Somewhat being the key word there. So I do apologize. I do. But I can't put that up. And then the Rolling Thunder one, I understand that one, but I'm not going to ask my guest a question that is irrelevant or doesn't understand your humor like I do. I got it. I totally got it. And I love you for it. You make me laugh. But I can't do that as I'm trying to grow the business just a tad because I'm really tired of working 2 jobs. I am. And I just want it to grow. I do. But don't worry, Deboruni. If it comes down to when we do the membership viewing, please ask those questions. We do, because you do make me laugh every day. Every day you make me laugh. And I love you for it. Thank you. I got way too much skin to show, whoopoo. Members only troll night. Absolutely. That's going to be fun. Mish, how are you? Now get off my lawn. Get off my lawn. uh, Tim Kiera is having some health issues. That's why she's not around. She gets really tired at night now. So she's listening, but she's falling asleep during the show earlier. Mm-hmm. Thank you to our super chatters tonight, Deborah Rooney, Kitty Caddywhack, Michelle, T-Bone, and Carla. And to our brand new members, Walter, T-Bone, Matthew, Rock and Rory, Little Cam, Deborah Rooney, AA Ron, Paramarv, and Mel WD40. Thank you for the love. Don't forget, you can shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag. And we got new stuff in there, so make sure you check it on out. Lots of Bigfoot t-shirts now. Here we go. Here we go with the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We got the Dave 101 and the weird news of the week coming on up here momentarily. But first, I want to remind all of you that if you missed most of this show or others, you can check out our free archives on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. It's that time of the week, that time of the night when I yell at each and every one of you to get off my lawn. It's a Dave 101.
Open up the doors, Dave. What is this?
It's a Dave 101.
I can see you're really upset about this. I honestly think you want to sit down calmly, take a stress pill, and think things over.
It's a mess.
Now, I'm not trying to be sentimental with this one, but I'm going to tell you, this has been a hard week, man. A hard week. First, we lose Ozzy, the Prince of Darkness, the lead man of Black Sabbath, the poet, the singer, the bat-eating rock and roller. And then Hulk Hogan dies. Man, if you're a Gen Xer like I am, that's two big hits in a row from your childhood. Never mind Malcolm Jamal Warner, because we all watched The Cosby Show. There's your trifecta for the week right there. My goodness. I got to say this, though. I was going to do something on UFOs, and I may touch on that in a few minutes. But this Hulk Hogan thing really, really kind of hit me. You know, Hulk Hogan, if you're not a Gen Xer or maybe an early boomer, okay, the power of Hulk Hogan in the 1980s was fever pitch. There was nobody bigger on the planet than Hulk Hogan. Nobody in baseball, nobody in boxing, nobody in the NBA outside of Michael Jordan. In Canada, of course, it was Gretzky in the NHL. Football, probably Joe Montana at the time. Chicago Bears. But nobody on this planet was bigger than Hulk Hogan. Everybody wanted to be Hulk Hogan. I don't know about the ladies, but I know us guys growing up as kids, we would always wrestle our buddies, whether it was on a trampoline, on the grass, on the cement floor in the basement, and put a blanket down for a pile driver. Okay. We would do that. And somebody would always have to be Hulk Hogan. You know, from saying your prayers and eating your vitamins to his theme songs from Eye of the Tiger to I Am a Real American. This guy was a legend. Absolutely. Now, sure, in his older life, he slowed down. Apparently, wrestlers were coming out. There was all these documentaries about how hard he was to work with, not wanting to give up his title, even though he was past his prime. He made a couple of real bad racial comments that got him kicked out of the Hall of Fame. But eventually, after many apologies and proving his worth again, he was readmitted. by the WWE. I'm not even a big wrestling fan anymore. I was in the 80s and 90s during the Attitude Era, but this one hurt. This one hurt a lot. I mean, sure, his B-League movies were absolutely terrible. Okay? He never did a good movie. I'm sure he got paid well, but never did a good movie. Got paid well for his homemade porn video, that's for sure. I think he sued the company who distributed it for like $34 million and won. But that glowing mustache, that big tan, the 24-inch pythons, the ripping of the T-shirt, and who can forget the greatest heel turn ever when he went from Hulk Hogan to being the third man in the New World Order. Oh, how dramatic was that? And I was thinking about it today, how it sucks getting older. Because the people that you grew up idolizing are getting to that age of where their life is near the end or is ended. Like Ozzy, like the Hulkster. And that is difficult because it puts a real kind of reality on it, because I started watching wrestling when I was like 11, 12 years old. And everything was Hulkamania this, Hulkamania that. Then came Macho Man Randy Savage. I was in Vancouver at BC Place watching Hulkster slam Big John Studd. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. And then he dies at 71. And there's the video of emergency people giving him CPR on the stretcher, trying to get him into an ambulance. I mean, sure, he wasn't the greatest heavyweight champion. To me, that's the Iron Sheik. I loved the Iron Sheik. He only held the belt for 8 months before Hogan pinned him at Madison Square Garden. But gee whiz, I would love to have seen him wrestle one more time. Would have loved to have seen the NWO. Yep. With Kevin Nash and Big Scott there. Oh, that would have been good. Very good. I'm not even a wrestling fan much. Like, I don't watch it anymore. It's become too scripted. But man, losing Hulk Hogan sucks. It really does. I don't know why I'm so rattled by it. Probably because, he was a childlike hero. For many of us, it didn't matter what color you were, what religion you were. Okay, Hulk Hogan was there for everybody. He was the people's champ before The Rock ever stole that title. Oh, yeah. We're going to miss you, Hulkster. Let me tell you something, brother. Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, Hulk. Let's get to some UFOs here quickly. The Tic Tac debate still is not going away. Many people are still quite upset that these Tic Tac-like objects may be ours, may be owned and built and put together, welded by Lockheed Martin themselves out at 29 Palms or Area 51. Should we be surprised, though? Should we be surprised? Look, I know that everybody out there really wants the Tic Tac to be aliens. And maybe some of them are. And this is the angle that many in ufology are not taking. What if the Tic Tac is a design from a UFO that Lockheed Martin has recreated? Think about that for a minute. It is entirely possible that these Tic Tacs, which have been seen all over the world and have been reported way before 2004's Nimitz incident, are not only American made. They could also be very, very much alien. Now, here's another example of that. Black triangles, the boomerangs. Many people claim that there is a secret space program where the United States has these black triangles that can hover in the air, be absolutely silent with their propulsion system, and maybe, just maybe, makes trips to Mars, the moon, and maybe other places in our universe, that they are actually being able to travel and put people there. Yet, when you see a triangle that's about the size of a city, which many people have claimed, including yours truly, that can't be man-made. There's no way you could even land that thing. Never. So are we being caught in our copycat game of the technology? Because I don't see UFOs having to have little air bars coming out. I don't think if you're coming from Zeta Reticuli that you're going to make sure that you have an airspeed condenser built on the outside or whatever those things are called. I just don't see that happening. But I do see us, if we are reverse engineering these craft, being able to make our own. If we think about Lockheed Skunk Works being, say, anywhere from 50 to 100 years ahead in technology, heck, even go to 150 years in technology, then it is very possible that we're not going to recognize any sort of the gravitics, the propulsion systems, or anything along those lines, because they're going to be foreign to us. They really are. And we definitely want to be able to say that they're ours because it sounds good. And look, I believe that many are. I found out about this story about 18 months ago from our guy, Random Guy. Said, don't be surprised. And he goes, when it comes out, it'll be I told you so. And we kind of ran with that on this show for a little while. The thing that convinced me that the Tic Tacs were not ours, at least not all of them are, was a coin that I saw. What they call a challenge coin. And this coin was made a long time ago, even before the Matrix videos and movies came out. And here it was the Mad Hatter in the middle. And the Mad Hatter was holding a red pill and a blue pill. Behind the Mad Hatter's left shoulder, it was black like nighttime because of black ops. And just over his left shoulder was a Tic Tac-like object, like it was exploding or morphing, one of the two. I've never seen that coin before, haven't seen it since, but I know it exists. Can't say where, can't say how, but I know it exists. Now, I don't know the meaning of why that challenge coin was given out. Really, that's none of my business. But the fact that that coin had a Tic Tac on it convinced me that the Tic Tacs may be ours. Now, you can sit there and say, Dave, really? You're going to really put a coin out there and say that was your conviction that the Tic Tacs were man-made? Yes. Yes, I am. And let me tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why, because this is my show and my rant, so I literally can do it. It's because if you study military patches and coins, the challenge coins that are given out, they all have a secret story within them. They are not just put there with a design on it saying, hey, we're going to Desert Storm, and here's your Desert Storm coin. It's not like that. Coins are a military tradition that goes back decades where when you go on special missions or you are on special operations, they give you a collector's coin called a challenge coin. And I don't know much about them. I don't. Because I'm not in the military, never been in the military, respect everyone who has put their name on the dotted line and served. And thank you very much to our veterans who are out there. But I think that these Tic Tacs are a mixture of ours and theirs. I do. The guys on the USS Nimitz from Kevin Day on down, and they're all people that I highly respect, and I'm glad to call a few of them friends. I don't think they were wrong, because they wouldn't have been told that these Tic Tacs were there to intercept them. If it was a test, let's go hypothetically here. If it was a test on the United States Navy, then it was one heck of a test that nobody knew about. And there's a good possibility that happened. So keep your mind open on this. If black triangles can be ours and theirs, the black triangles for the aliens, we call them the TR-3Bs, it's not off-centered to say the Tic Tacs may be ours and theirs as well. Let's hit the news.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News.
I am good at things, fighting and reading the news.
It's time once again for Spaced Out Radio's Weird News of the Week.
Well, let's start with Florida man, if not Florida mouse. Florida cops who arrested a Chuck E. Cheese mascot had a hilarious way of leading him out of the Charles Entertainment cheese joint and over to their cop car, telling him, "Chucky, come with me, Chucky." TMZ obtained an arrest report at the Tallahassee Police Department saying the man in the Chuck E. Cheese costume also had a small amount of hippie lettuce on him. Cops say that they asked if he had a medical marijuana license and were told, "I was on the way to getting one." Police also say he racked up $105 in fraudulent charges on a debit card a woman lost after attending her child's birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. A Chuck E. Cheese mascot had to cough up some serious dough to bail out of the pokey after getting arrested. Yep, not a good time for Jamel J. Jones, who was arrested for theft of a credit card. You don't want to do that. Like, why break the kid's heart if you're the Chucky of the Chuck E. Cheese? It's unclear, but it appears the Tallahassee cops knew the identity of the man inside the mouse and knew where he worked because they promptly arrived on scene, removed the faux mouse from the joint, right in the middle of the children's birthday party in progress. Apparently, this wasn't Jones's first fake credit card caper. He allegedly did the same thing at least once before in the last 6 months. Jones is charged with theft of a credit card, criminal use of identification info, and fraudulent use of a credit card more than twice in 6 months. He was booked and released on $1,000 bond, and in the meantime probably lost his job and ruined a kid's birthday party. What's worse, ruining the kid's birthday party or the $1,000 fine? Shame on him, ruining that kid's party. Let's go to another one here. There's some weird ways to die out there, but a woman has died after the unthinkable. Maybe it happens more than I think of, but I would never thought of it this way. She died after a dog licked her wound, a court has heard. June Baxter was 83 years old. She had her leg cut after falling from her commode on June 29th. The retired legal secretary, who was alone when she fell, pressed her community hall bell to alert her granddaughter, Caitlin, who acts as her main caretaker. Ms. Allen arrived at the house in Attleboro with her dog, who licked the wound, Norfolk County coroner's office said. Ms. Baxter told her granddaughter that she didn't feel well the following day and was taken to Norfolk and Norwich Hospital. Tests revealed the presence of Pastorella multicide, a bacterium commonly found in the mouths of animals. Ms. Baxter's condition deteriorated despite treatment, and she died from septic shock on July 7th. Secondary causes of the death included kidney, liver, and heart conditions. On Tuesday, coroner Johanna Thompson recorded a conclusion of accidental death. In a statement to court, Ms. Baxter's daughter, Claire Wooten, said her independent and determined mother had previously suffered from sepsis. Mrs. Wooten said she had not personally seen the dog lick Mrs. Baxter's leg, but said there was a possibility it could have happened and agreed with the cause of death. Ms. Baxter's family were not in court, but the coroner said they had seen the evidence and were content with the inquest to be conducted in their absence. Yes, the granddaughter's murderous dog took grandma out. At least it wasn't a reindeer. I think you got that. Finally tonight, most cat owners dread their pets bringing home birds or mice, but there's owners of this one felonious feline in New Zealand. It's a worse shame. Yeah, apparently the cat is on a crime wave of stealing people's bedroom privates and unmentionables. Yeah, in the Placid beachside neighborhood of Marangi Bay, the 15-month-old Leo is a local celebrity. Why? They call him now Leonardo da Vinci. That's because he's got expensive tastes, including silk boxer shorts, thongs, work socks, clothespins still attached to clothing, and in one mortifying episode, a brand new $300 cashmere sweater. My daughter was at home sick when she rang me saying, it's bad, it's bad, it's the worst thing he's brought in, it's real bad. Helen North said, it was beautiful, the sweater. I was like, oh, can I keep that? But I couldn't. Yep. The thief cat, not in jail, still loved, and now a celebrity in New Zealand. Go figure. As we say goodnight to the thefty cat, and hello to Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, rocking in the background with little brother is watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, LGAP, Facebook, Spreaker, LinkedIn, the Space Travelers Club, and on X at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and Bigfoot Broadcasting Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo Train has docked for the night, but soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night, everybody. Good show. Good job, everybody. Good job. Should be proud. All right. July 24, 25. we go. That there. Go her. I wish I could play you that song by Fallen in Reverse. Really good. If God is a Weapon. Go YouTube it after I'm done. It's a great show. Great show. Great show. Great show. Nice dead fish on the Bitcoin. I like collecting silver. I gotta get back into it. If that's ready now. All right, that downloaded. Do, 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 do. All right. Tomorrow night on the show, who's our guest? Chris Stiles is going to join us. Shag Harbor UFO crash is coming up. Love this event. One of my favorites. Don't think it's studied enough. But we'll make sure you check it on out. Thank you tonight to our super chatters, Sweet Donnie Joe, Deborah Rooney, T-Bone, Carla, Michelle, and Kitty. And thank you to our new members as we started a membership club on our YouTube channel. Walter, T-Bone, Matthew, Rock and Rory, Lil Cam, Deborah Rooney, AA Ron, Paramarv, and Mel WD40 for the Lube membership. Appreciate that. The membership will, I got to remember what it does. We are doing it and we'll be doing like private members chats and we're going to figure out some more stuff that we're going to give you. Dry Toast, best name on YouTube. How you doing? We will see you all tomorrow night. Thank you for a great show. Love you all. Take care.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
If you need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.